Okay, welcome to the microengineering practical number 2, that is reflex klystron. Study various characteristics of reflex klystron. So now here we have a setup for the reflex klystron. So this one is your klystron power supply. We have a reflex klystron here, isolator, then a variable attenuator, frequency meter, standing wave detector, and then we take output through this one is the detector, and we'll see the output on the CRO here. Now this is about your microwave bench. We have set up all these components on a stand so that axis match for each and every component. They will be looks like on a single axis there. So that's why we have set up all the components using a stand here. So now we require a fan here to cool the klystron, otherwise klystron get heated. Once we make it on, so that klystron will start working, and then that klystron get heated. So for that purpose we need to use a fan here. So now this one is a klystron is mount here on this waveguide. This is about a klystron waveguide mount, and here the klystron is mount here. If you see that in a small hole there is a small okay on a waveguide, and probe is inserted, and the what probe is there. So it is that probe is inserted inside the waveguide, which your signal is propagating through it. So generally it is at the center of the guide. So that's why you can say that about the T10 mode will be achieved through this particular excitation of a waveguide there. Now before switching on the power supply, so we need to see that all these knobs to be a fully anti-clockwise, and then once it is fully anti-clockwise and everything is connected, that klystron is connected, then switch on the power supply. Once we switch on the power supply, we need to take care of that, which we see that what is the value of a beam voltage. Now this is the knob, it is showing that beam voltage, and if you vary this knob, okay, that is about a clockwise, you can say that the beam voltage is increases. We need to set up a beam voltage at some particular value. So right now we'll set the beam voltage at 260 volt, and once we set the beam voltage at 260 volt, we will not touch this particular knob again and again. So that is about the fixed value of a beam voltage we'll keep here. Now this one is a knob. It is showing that a modulation, which type of modulation, CW, AM, FM, and external there. So we'll use AM here, and we find out the modes. So if we provide the AM, we'll get the output that is in the form of a square wave. If we change the knob to the FM there, so we'll get the output in the form of a sawtooth knob. So now right now this is a CW position, this is the AM position, FM position, and the external one. Now these are the positions here. So we consider that our position of a knob at a AM now. This is about a beam voltage, that is right now it is okay, it is decreased small one, and this knob is showing that at the position of a voltage. Now this is V. V is nothing but for beam voltage. So now we will see that beam voltage on this particular display. So now if supposed to be I change the current, so now it will show you the beam current. So how much is the beam current? That is about the 0 to 4. That is about the beam current here. And this one is about your repeller voltage. This knob is at repeller voltage. So once we switch the knob to the repeller voltage, now then here is another knob. It's showing about the repeller voltage there. So now if you vary that, okay, you adjust this repeller voltage. How to adjust this repeller voltage? We vary that. According to that, we will see some waveform on the CRO, so that we can find out the various modes. Means at some particular value of a repeller voltage, output will be provided, output will be available. Output will be available means what? On a CRO you will see the square waveform, because we are using a CRO for detecting the signal, because signal is propagating, that is a square waveform here. So now this one is about amplitude knob. We say that amplitude knob means what particular modulation we are expecting. This is about the AM. This knob is for the FM here. So we can increase that amplitude for a given particular signal and that signal frequency. So we need to expect that if 1 kilohertz is a signal there, and amplitude can be any one. Okay, and we change the repeller voltage in such a way that we'll get that a square waveform at a particular repeller voltage. So that is means what? At some particular repeller voltage, we'll get a output on the CRO is nothing but the mode. So there are various modes can be obtained. So generally 3 modes and that cycle is a different. So how that mode is achieved? Because inside a klystron, what happened? That bunching process takes place, and that cavity provide the output. So we'll get the output, and that output at some particular repeller voltage. Because bunching action takes place at the particular voltage, and so that's why we'll get the output. If supposed to be change in the repeller voltage occurs, so we'll not get a output. At some specific value of a repeller voltage, we'll get the output here. So now this one is about your klystron mount. We have a klystron here right now, and this one is about an isolator. Now the isolator is used to see that whichever the reflection comes from the any component from the load will not reach to the klystron there. If supposed to be it will reach to the klystron, then klystron may get damaged. To avoid it, we use the isolator. So it isolate your transmitted signal and reflected signal there. Okay, means no reflection come. It isolate a reflection signal. So because isolator will work in a forward direction, only in this direction, means we are providing the signal in that direction, only that direction signal propagates. If any signal comes from that end, any reflection comes from that end, it will not reach to the generator there, because it avoid that damage of a generator. It isolate your load and a input there. Now this next is about your variable attenuator. This is about a variable attenuator. There are two types of attenuator. One is a fixed attenuator and variable attenuator. Here we see the variable attenuator. We can increase and decrease the depth of that obstacle. Inside that obstacle is there. We can increase and decrease the depth of obstacle, and according to that attenuation takes place. If depth is more, attenuation will be more. If depth is a small, attenuation is small. So according to that, this attenuator works. Now fixed attenuator, that is obstacle is fixed one, and we'll get that fixed value of attenuation. That can be a 3 dB, or that can be 6 dB, 9 dB, 12 dB, 15 dB, likewise. That attenuators are available. So now generally in a lab 3 dB and 6 dBs are there, and here we have a variable attenuator. So it varies. According to that, we can increase the depth of that particular attenuation there. In this particular next component in a microwave bench, here we have a frequency meter. Now in this frequency meter, if you see that there is a scale. Now we can see that there is a scale, and then along with that, these are the two lines. This one line, another line. Okay, these are the two lines, and that two lines and one vertical line is there. In between that two line, there is a scale, and this line coincide on this particular scale. This one here. So that is nothing but the value of frequency. Right now, I suppose to consider that is a coincide at a 8.9. So we can say that the frequency will be 8.9. But at what value we need to set a frequency meter? Frequency meter means what? How it works. Now generally we will see the square waveform on a CRO. At the same time, we need to vary the frequency meter. Okay, when we vary the frequency meter, what happens? That cavity, it has a cavity, and cavity has a resonating frequency, and that resonating frequency and the propagating signal, which has some signal frequency is in terms of a gigahertz there. So that frequency, signal frequency and resonating frequency match. So at the same time, what happens? That cavity absorb the power. When the cavity absorb the power, will not get any signal on the CRO there. So there will be deep occur, means flat line. Earlier we see the square waveform. Because of that variation of this frequency meter at some particular point where the deep occurs, means at that deep, your output will be absorbed inside the cavity. So no, means we can say that standing wave occur generally we say. Okay. So now what happened? Power absorbs, so no output will be available. Okay, on the CRO means at the end of this particular frequency meter, no output will be available. We'll see that how it works. Then a standing wave detector. In a standing wave detector, if you see that there is a knob, and this we can vary. Okay, so we can vary this knob, and this one is toward a generator, and if we vary this one, we can say that is about a towards load, and this is about a scale, 1 year scale. So we can match that at 0, at what position 0 is there, and then at what point this line matches. So we can find out, supposed to be 0 at 8.5, then which line matches there at that particular point. So that means what? 8.5 something, okay, value 8.54 something likewise. So this way we can calculate the values there. Next, this is about a tunable detector. Now this detector, why it is called as a standing wave detector? Because it detects a standing wave value. Okay, standing wave value means what? We can connect this detector to the VSWR meter, so that we can able to find out what is the VSWR value, voltage standing wave ratio. Now there is in a standing wave detector, small slot is there. Now through this slot, your whatever the probe is there, that will be moving. Okay, probe is inserted inside this particular slot, and then we will get that output. Means output is detected by this particular probe. Why this slot is at the center? Center we have a maximum value of electric field intensity, and it will not affect your signal. So that's why at a center there is a slot. So when we move this probe here through this particular slot, we'll get the output that is detected. We connect this detector either to the VSWR meter, or we can connect to the CRO. So we can find out where is the maxima and minima. Now here the next component is about your detector. Now this one is a detector. It has a detector diode, and this detector is connected to the CRO. Now at some particular specific point, okay, this one, when we vary the repeller voltage, we'll observe that square waveform. Now I'll set that, okay, now we need to set the waveform in such a way that we'll get that a square waveform. Now see that a peak to peak value is supposed to be, right now it is showing 144 millivolt, and the frequency is of a 454 hertz, but we need to set a frequency of what? A 1 kilohertz. So now how to set a frequency of 1 kilohertz? We just vary the frequency knob. Where is the frequency knob? Frequency knob is present on the Klystron power supply. Now there is a frequency knob. Now I have to increase the frequency and adjust that. A frequency is of what? A 1 kilohertz. Okay, so that at this 1 kilohertz we can tune the circuit and we'll take the reading. So now I am adjusting the signal frequency at a 1 kilohertz. Now this one is about a 1 kilohertz of a signal frequency. Okay. Now once we have adjusted a 1 kilohertz, then we start taking the reading. Now how to take a reading? We need to just vary the repeller voltage. Now presently if you see that, okay, now this setup, if you see that a beam voltage, how much is the beam voltage? Is about a 260 volt. Okay, in a beam voltage is about a 260 volt. And now this is about your complete setup. Now we need to write the reading here. What is the beam voltage at that particular point? Beam voltage is about a 260 volt. Okay, and we have a current. Current is about what? A beam current. This one is about a beam current. Beam current we have to see that is about a 26 there. So we can write a beam current is about a 26. Now next is about, we can find out what is the repeller voltage. Repeller voltage there is 19. Okay, so now you can see the CRO. Now I am varying. Okay, now I am varying the repeller voltage. Now you can observe that on a CRO here. Okay, one waveform. Here we are getting the output. Output what? Peak to peak at what? A 45. Okay, repeller voltage right now, the repeller voltage is 45. At the repeller voltage of a 45 value, we'll get the square waveform. Suppose I change again the value of a repeller voltage. Now if I increase the repeller voltage here, so now what happens? Square wave changes. Okay, now again at some particular point of a repeller voltage, we'll get the output. Now this one. So now at this particular point, here we are getting that is the 408 millivolt, that is peak to peak value, and a repeller voltage value is right now 91. Okay, so now I am changing again the repeller voltage value so that we'll get the square waveform again. Now I am changing here. Okay, now this one. So here it is about a value is about a 648 millivolt. Okay, peak to peak. Now peak to peak is increased at some particular repeller voltage value. Here is the repeller voltage value, that is about 207. Now we need to find out at various value of a mode what are the various modes. At various mode means what? At what particular value of ripple voltage what will be your output, at the same time what will be the frequency. Now the frequency is measured using the frequency meter. Now if you see that if you see that in this frequency meter, now you see that a square wave form is there. Now I am varying a frequency meter. Now when I am varying the frequency meter on the CRO, you just observe that a dip occurs, means your output reduces. Okay, at what value your output reduces, that is nothing but the frequency. Okay, now I am varying, okay, frequency meter slowly at some particular point dip occurs, means your output reduces. Now this one, now to start reducing, here it is about the dip occurs. Now that is about a dip occurs, means this one is a value of a frequency. Now how much is the value of frequency? If you see that it is a 9.96 and 9.98, in between 9.96 and 9.98, and there are two values, 9.96 and then 9.96 2 there, okay, 4 there, okay. So now we can say that 9.97, okay, in between. So that is about a frequency. So we can find out the frequency is nothing but what? A 9.97, okay, that is about our frequency. Now we'll start a reading and see that at what value of a repeller voltage we'll get the output. And now suppose I am releasing now once I release, then output again, okay, reaches to their original position. Now we start a reading and we'll take a reading at what value of a repeller voltage we'll get the output there. So our table, we need to see that, okay, what are the values of a repeller voltage here. We see that at where we are getting the modes. So now we initiate again the reading. We start here again. We'll go back and set the repeller voltage where we are getting the maximum peak there. Now this one is about the output here. We are getting a output now because it is about a 224, okay, millivolt. So peak to peak value. Now the repeller voltage value is about a 42. This one is the repeller voltage value, that is about a 42, and the peak to peak value is about a 224. Okay, it is about a 224. I will write a 224 millivolt. Now what is the frequency? So for the frequency we need to vary the frequency meter, and we can observe that where that dip occurs. At same point we can measure the frequency. Now you see that I am varying a frequency meter here. Now here, now this one, a dip occurs. This one is about, if you see that scale, here is a 9.96, then 9.965, 9.97, 9.975, 9.98. So our value is in between what? 9.96 and 9.965. So means it is 9.96 and 965. So it is 9612 something, 9.962 or 9.963. You can say that it is about a 9.963 gigahertz. Our frequency is about a 9.96 gigahertz. Okay, so these are about your repeller voltage. We say the peak to peak value. We say that is about the frequency. Now again, we release it. Okay, we need to release our frequency meter. We come back to our position. Okay, now I am changing the repeller voltage. Now no, it mode vanishes. Again I will change that here. Okay, now here, so we can see that I will adjust it. Okay, now this one is about a mode here. We'll get the output. waveform. Output is about what? It is about a peak to peak value is about a 368 millivolt. It is about a 368 millivolt. And your repeller voltage value is about the 83. Okay. So repeller value voltage is about the 83. This one is about your peak to peak value of output. Now you can see that this is about the peak to peak value of output. That is about something 376 something. Okay, there is small change variation. Okay, let it be 368 now. Okay, it is fluctuating. Now next we need to find out what is the frequency value. So now again we rotate it. Once we rotate it, you see that a dip occurs. You see that on a CRO. I am rotating this one. You see that here. Now the frequency is what? You can see that the frequency. It is about what? A 9.96, 9.65, and then there is small change there. Okay. So this one what? 9.96 and a small variation there. Okay, small little bit changes. Okay. So that is about 9.965 and 1. So we can say that 9.965 instead of that 9.966. Okay. 9.9. Okay, 9. This one will be of what? 9.966. Okay, 9.966. That is about our frequency. Next, we just release it again. Then we change the value, repeller voltage. Again I am changing it here. Okay, so now you see that output is about what? Output we are getting, that is about the 592 millivolt. Okay, so our output is about the 592 millivolt, and this one is about your repeller voltage. Repeller voltage is what? It is a 207. Okay, it is abrupt right directly, and output is about 592 millivolt. Now what is the frequency? Now for the frequency, again I'll rotate it, frequency meter or frequency meter here. Now we'll see that at what value dip occurs. Now here. Okay, now here is the dip occurs. Again it is slightly changed. Now the frequency is what? In between what? 9.96, then 5 and then 6. Okay. So 9.966 and 7. So small change is there. 9.967. That is about the frequency in terms of a gigahertz there. Okay, small there. This small change there occurs. Okay, so we can say that that's about the frequency in terms of a gigahertz. Now release it. Now these are the 3 modes. Now we have got the 3 readings. These are about the 3 modes. We say one mode occurs at the value of what? This is about the first mode occurs. Mode occur at a 42. This one is about a output peak to peak value, a frequency. Mode 2 at this 83 peak to peak value, frequency. Mode 3, then output repeller voltage, output value, and then a frequency 9.967. Okay, all these are in gigahertz. Now there may be a question in your mind. So we are getting the frequencies in gigahertz. Okay, through this frequency meter. Okay, now we are getting the frequency, but what is the frequency here on the CRO? That is about the 1.011 kilohertz. Now we can see that. Now that 1 kilohertz is the frequency because a square wave signal is propagating through this reflex klystron. Okay, that square wave signal we need to tune for the 1 kilohertz of a frequency. So that's why a 1 kilohertz signal to be set initially. Okay, so initially we have seen that we have set that 1 kilohertz of a signal frequency, and that 1 kilohertz signal is propagating through this reflex klystron. Means modulation takes place, generally we say. Modulated signal, modulating signal of 1 kilohertz, so modulation takes place. So at the detector we are demodulating it. So that's why we will demodulate the signal, that is of 1 kilohertz we are getting. Now the signal propagating through this guide or whatever the setup we have, it will work for the X band. All these components work at a X band. X band means what? 8 to 12 gigahertz. X band is what? 8 to 12 gigahertz of frequency. Now once our setup is over, this is about your knob is at AM. Now I change the knob at FM. If I change the knob at FM, okay, so what happened? We need to set this frequency. Okay, we need to set this frequency, and this is about the AM. Now this one is about the FM. We see that at what value we will get the output. This is about the frequency. Okay, this frequency knob for FM, this amplitude knob for the FM, and we will get the output at some value of a repeller voltage. Now I have to increase the repeller value of a voltage, so that we will see that a sawtooth waveform. Okay, now this one is about your sawtooth waveform. Now sawtooth waveform, okay, at what value? Repeller value is about 59. Now suppose I am changing again. Okay, this is about the modes using FM. Okay, now this earlier we have seen that mode using AM. Now this is about a mode using AFM. So in that case, instead of a square wave, we will see the sawtooth waveform. Now I am changing again. I am changing the repeller value of voltage. I see that a sawtooth waveform goes. Now here we are getting the output, and that in that case our repeller voltage is about the 103. Now suppose I am changing again a repeller voltage. Now here we will see again the sawtooth waveform. Okay, this one sawtooth waveform, and that sawtooth waveform we are getting at what? N159. Now these are nothing but a mode, but using a FM. Earlier we have seen the AM, same is there. We need to find out the peak to peak value. We need to find out the frequency. Everything is same. Only the change is what? Instead of a square waveform, we will see the sawtooth waveform for the FM. Now this is about your reflex klystron practical. Reflex klystron, here in a practical we are modulating the signal, that is a square waveform. Generally reflex klystron, it acts as an oscillator. It has a single cavity, and the same function will occur inside the cavity. That is about the bunching and everything is occur. So that is about your reflex klystron. Once we complete the setup, we have to bring back all the knobs at their position. Repeller voltage, 0th position, your beam voltage is at the same position, minimize, anti-clockwise, fully anti-clockwise. And this is about the, here it is get heated, we need a fan to be on, and then we switch off your setup here. Okay, now set at the AM, and everything is over now, and now we switch off the setup here. Now that is about our reflex klystron. Once we switch off the setup, we keep that fan is to be on for 5 to 10 minutes, so that our reflex klystron get cooled now. If we keep as it is, that reflex klystron will get damaged. To avoid it, make it fan on, so that it will cool after 5 or 10 minutes, and then switch off all the setup and all the system there. Now this is about your micro system bench. Here we have learned that is about your klystron, then isolator, we have then attenuator. We'll see the attenuator separately. Okay, this is about your frequency meter we have seen, standing wave. Okay, I explain you. We'll see the actual how it works. All the components we'll see. That is about your reflex klystron practical. In a reflex klystron, a single cavity is there, and your signal, okay, how is propagating through this guide, that is in a X band. That X band is about the 8 to 12 gigahertz. So that's why we are getting the frequency while measuring. It is about the 9 something gigahertz, 9.9 gigahertz. That is about our frequency. And that's all about your micro reflex klystron characteristics practical. And here we learn all this, okay, using this word. Okay, thank you all of you. Okay, and we'll see, okay, next that practical next lecture. Okay, thank you all of you.